Gus Kenworthy on coming out and competing as an openly gay Olympian. I almost feel like in a lot of ways it probably makes you stronger, because you've had this internal battle for so much of your life. Mike Blake, Reuters, GANGNEUNG, South Korea. Push forward in the bobsled of your imagination to the 2038 Winter Olympics, and wonder, will this scene from this past Wednesday even be viable? Will there be two gay dudes out on Sim Olympic Park in 2038, sitting in abutting chairs, relaying their Olympic experiences for NBC's Today Show? Will people wearing a nation's gear, in this case the United States, happen by and gaze on and verbal speculation such as, "That's that figure skater. What's the other one do?" Will one of the two guys answer some question about his mother and exclaim audibly across part of the park, as did Adam Rippon, "No worries, Mom. I've got you covered, girl. Thanks, Kelly. Love you." One thing does stand certain already for 2038, no two Americans ever again will become the first out, gay, competing Winter Olympians. That matter has been adjudicated. Winners are Rippon, the 28-year-old figure skater born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Gus Kenworthy, the 26-year-old freestyle skier born in Chelmsford, England, then transported to Colorado at age adorably 2. It can be a black guy, an Asian guy, a lesbian, a gay skater, anything in the world. Kenworthy said, after the duo repaired to NBC's Green Room hut for a dual interview with The Washington Post. Anyone can be exactly who they want to be, and I think that more people will realize that, and, in 20 years, it's going to be like a complete rainbow mess, Rippon said. In 20 years, Kenworthy said, the Today Show interview won't even be a thing. No, Rippon chimed in. It's going to be the Yesterday Show, Kenworthy said. Of course, all that came just after the 2038 subject began, and Kenworthy said, "I'm going to be one of the older people in the field at that point," whereupon Rippon said, "Oh, I'll still be around for sure, I'm just like, so young. And in my prime," whereupon several people around the room laughed, whereupon Rippon looked back toward Kenworthy's mother and said, "What are you laughing at, Pip? For now, you almost have to wear SPF 30 to avoid burn from the glow of the duo. They're clearly embedded with their fresh layers of authenticity, so they're uncommonly alive." There are two men born 3,521 miles apart, then linked as Olympics do best, then flung into friendship and a depth repartee by some biological quirk common to more than 1,500 species. They have learned some things here, with learning always a foremost province of Olympics. Adam Rippon on competing as an openly gay Olympian, like, "Now I'm the fully actualized monster I'm supposed to be." Howie Young, EPAFA, Shuttershock. They have learned about other gay athletes and coaches, because a trickle of those athletes and coaches have approached them to say thanks. Asked of an estimate of how many, Kenworthy began with 60, and then said, "I was kidding," after which Rippon said, "I was like, oh, my." Quote, "I had two athletes and a coach come up to me," Kenworthy said. "And Adam had. I had a coach," Rippon said. The grateful sorts varied in nationality. The coach who approached Kenworthy hailed from an Asian country where homosexuality is not criminalized but also not accepted generally. The two Americans realized that while their country has lagged behind a batch of others in legal recognition, its First Amendment has not. They're grateful for the reach of their voices, but more so, their athletes, and so Kenworthy said, "I think that with all athletes, there is a mutual respect for one another, because we understand what it takes to get to this place. So before even meeting Adam, I just inherently had a lot of admiration and respect for him, and then I met him and it all went away, but." Quote, several people laughed. They have learned, in a bold, new, public way, how much energy they had been expending and exhausting and wasting in the tortured art of hiding. Kenworthy, a silver medalist in the men's slopestyle freestyle skiing while closeted at Sochi in 2014, finished 12th here. Rippon won a team bronze medal and finished 7th in the men's individual figure skating, and he emerged as a champion of levity when he impossibly pulled off with charm this quotation, "I think one thing I want people to come away with from this competition is that I'm not like a gay icon and I'm not an America's gay sweetheart. I'm America's sweetheart and I'm an icon." Almost magically, both found the simple act of competing less onerous. Said Rippon, "I think you spend so much time worrying about what other people think about that you realize that you had all of this extra energy that you didn't need to be using. And, you know, I think straight people never have this experience of coming out. And it's such a life-changing moment that you become so strong. I gained so much power and strength from that moment. And I agree with what he said about it being effortless." Kenworthy said, "Because when I was in the closet, it was so much effort to stay in the closet and constantly worrying, and fearing I was going to fall asleep before the other guys on my team and say something in my sleep, or anything. I was just, all the time, always nervous that I was going to out myself, that someone was going to find out, and it was